Hi, I'm Michael Smith for Nevada Trails. So I have a very special show. Cindi and I are going to talk to Dianna Marie De Borges about all the things she has got going, and I think Cindy's works with you a little bit in the theater group, doesn't she?
Hi, everybody. Super happy to be here today and thrilled not only to introduce you to a woman that I know, and I know that is inspiring and wonderful, but it just proves to you that just in this community we have so many special people, Michael. So many special people that have so much depth to them and are doing so much for others and for the community, and I just think Dianna is a huge inspiration, and I've always thought so. So I'm super thrilled to be having you talk to everybody about being an author, being an actress, being Sarah Winnemucca, being a mom, being a wife, being a community member, and just being a goddess sister that you are, because
yes,
we all are.
I've graduated to goddess now, not just a diva.
Haven't we all? Okay. So let's talk about all of that stuff.
Well, first you want to talk about the sleigh rides. What's going on?
Well, it's a wonderful time of the year. We really enjoy the fall. The Harvest Festival and the pony rides are closing up. Our new crew, we've got some excellent people. We have hired a young man from Brazil. We've got some drivers from Mackinac Island.
Oh, I love that place.
It's such wonderful young people we have, and we do have a higher hiring rate for the winter time. And so we're very excited. Usually opening day traditionally is the Friday, Black Friday, the shopping day, Black Friday, the Friday after Thanksgiving, and if the snow gods comply, we should have enough snow this year to continue well through. Usually we try to end right around Easter. And so we have 2 locations this year. It's very exciting for us. Of course, our traditional site is on the corner of Highway 50, Lake Tahoe Boulevard.
Right by Mount Blue, right?
Right
Yep.
across the street, and it's Lake Parkway East, and we've been there 45 years.
Wow.
45 years. It's a wonderful feeling to be a part of a legacy like that.
Bring joy to all the people that get to come and
sing jingle bells and dash through the snow.
That's awesome.
And we have a second location in Squaw Valley at the resort at Squaw Creek. And we'll be offering sleigh rides up there. We've got a few other fun things at North Star, and even down here, we're going to be bringing in Santa at the Parade of Lights on that first Saturday in December. So that's always fun.
I usually tape that event, so I want you to go slower with Santa.
Okay.
Because it's like, hey.
Okay,
He's like, ho, ho, ho.
I'll tell my old horse to walk a little slower.
He's ready for the eggnog.
Yeah, we're very excited. It's our brochure, and we're real excited about the sleigh ride starting up. And we're
what's
always
the website so then people can go and check it out?
Sleighride.com. Real easy.
I know a lot of newlyweds like to get bundled up and go for the rides.
Oh, it's beautiful. The whole idea of a sleigh ride, it's not as common as the street or city tours, the carriages. They're almost everywhere. Sleigh rides, there aren't a lot of companies able to do this. And it's wonderful fun for the entire family. We have a lot of newlyweds. We can perform weddings at our location. We have a lot of young people in love, older people in love, and a lot of big families, little families. So many stories that we have over 45 years that it's just hard to even keep them on. I think it's one of the reasons why I did some of the other things. I wrote the book was to try to keep some of these stories. I had someone today just call for a family of 24.
Wow.
So family reunion. That will be interesting. Not our biggest.
I'm dying to do it. I've been dying for years. I just don't have the time for some reason. But this year I'm going to make time. Because now I'm married, just got married, so that's a good time to snuggle up.
Oh, yeah.
So when you get on the sleigh ride, do you have like a blanket to keep warm, or
someone
do you bring your
usually
own?
meets you at the gate, and we usually have a number of sleighs. We have a festive sleigh that holds 20, and then we have the cozy sleigh that holds 2, and quite a few in between. And you come up and you pay. We have hot chocolate and cookies and numerous souvenirs available. Then we put you in a sleigh. You snuggle up with a nice blanket. Yes, we provide the old-fashioned heaters for you.
Excellent.
And then your driver will take you over the meadow and through the woods to grandmother's house we go. And that
Well, how long of a tour is that?
we offer 2 tours in the South Lake Tahoe area. We have a group ride of 30 minutes, and that takes you over the meadow, back through the tree line. Spectacular view of Lake Tahoe.
Bring your camera.
Bring your camera, and your driver will get out and take a picture with Lake Tahoe in the background. It's absolutely gorgeous, and that's also our wedding spot up that way.
Ooh.
And then we go in through the trees. There's a nice poem that we recite by Robert Frost, stopping by the woods on a snowy evening. And then we dash through the snow along the Pony Express. You get a free souvenir, and then you go on your way back to your starting point. And then we also offer a 1 hour, which in the 1 hour there's more little nooks and crannies that you can stop, get out, have more private moments, and you usually get a free hot chocolate and a souvenir mug.
Well, if that doesn't make you want to get out there and do it, I don't know what else does. Because I swear I've been saying this for years, so I'll make sure it happens
I'm going to
this
hold
year.
you to it.
All right.
I'm going.
And then we were going to talk to you about your theater activities with the Carson Valley Community Theater.
Yes, now
And
that's
Cindy's in that too.
Yes, it's a group. I think we met. We might
did.
have,
We met there.
Unofficially had encounters before that, but we had the privilege of working together on
In 2008.
night of January 16th. That was our first time being together. Oh, what fun! And it was
That was fun.
It was a great play. She had a lead role and did a marvelous job. And I had one line, but I had my one line all through the show because I was the bailiff. And I had to go, you promised to tell the truth, the whole truth, and
I
nothing
saw
but the
that.
truth. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you
I
saw
had-
it on night
It
of
was, I think we
16.
taped it. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to.
great.
I sat there the whole time and made funny faces and
Yep.
and tried to keep myself occupied.
She
but
didn't like Karen Andre at all. Not at all.
it was a fun experience, and I think one of the nice things about the theater group was it gave me permission to try something fun and to be someone that Dianna the mom and Dianna the wife and the Dianna the entrepreneur's wife and the businesswoman
Even
really
Sarah, even Sarah.
it really helped me to break out and have some fun, and I really grew from that experience.
And
with
Dwight,
the
your
theater.
husband, was in the play with us
Yes.
too, which was super fun.
Yeah.
He had a great role, and that's another thing I wanted to mention about the theater, which is the friendships and the connections that happen from the theater that we still have from 2008, because you end up spending quite a lot of time together in 3 months, rehearsing every night and being together and being someone else, hard enough to be yourself. So it
was lots of fun.
It was fun, and that is a super great group of people to be
Great
involved with.
professionals, all kinds.
They put on wonderful shows, and I encourage anyone to get involved in any way you can. It's a good experience. It's a fun experience.
I agree. You both say nice things about each other, by the way.
Yeah, it was interesting. Dwight and I decided to do this. We work together, we live together, we raise children together. We're always together, and not that it's a bad thing. I love my husband; he's a great man. But we wanted to try to do something together that was purely fun and away from everything else we were doing, no matter what our capabilities were. And it was a perfect fit. It was
That's
an
good.
ability for us to do something fun and kind of get away from the ball and chain that we call, work and family life, and be a couple and have fun as individuals. It's a wonderful group, and I thoroughly recommend it to anybody.
And
who
very
has-
creative.
Yes.
And FYI, I didn't have a lick of experience before I went into that very play at all.
Yeah, we had fun. I learned a
And-
lot too.
It was just
It's a great place, and so I wanted to bring that out because it's definitely and it's grown. For me, I haven't done any more parts. The timing hasn't been right, but there's a whole lot of other things. I've been bartenders and I've been house person. I've worked ticket sales. My husband's worked at the stage decorations and stuff.
A lot of people
lighting,
have to pull that off.
there's
That's
sound.
right.
So there's so many things. You don't have to be in front of a camera all the time. There is so many ways to be involved in
And
wonderful.
fun.
Mhm, and have
Well, you
fun.
can be down the hallway and helping people buy tickets.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
Right now, there's people volunteering.
I like that.
I like that too.
Yeah.
You also wrote a book, I believe, or have a book. Did you show us real
Yeah.
quick here before we go to break?
My other hat is Dianna Marie De Borges, the author, and I am so very proud. This is one of those bucket list checks.
Bucket licks.
List checks for me.
You can say that again.
Yeah. No.
That's impressive.
No, it is impressive. I've tried to
It
write a
is.
couple books.
She wrote a book, and not only that, it's a good and interesting book. I
And
happen
it's
to have read
published.
it.
Yes.
That's
yes.
a good thing.
I started it because Papa Sam, and he's my husband's father. He's the one who started the sleigh rides in 1967. He was getting on in years and not feeling so well. His health was failing. He's passed away 2 years now. We miss him deeply. But he was the best storyteller I have ever met. I mean, he could just bring in an audience and hold them forever. And it was amazing to watch how he told stories. And his stories were interesting too. He had done a lot of things. And I said, well, Sam, you should write down these stories. And he said, well, I don't know. I can't type any faster than this. And it'd take me forever. And I said, oh, Sam, I'll write it.
If that's all it
I'll
is.
help you. I'll
Right.
help you. Well, in our family, when you say, I'll help you, that means you'll do it. And so I ended up waking up wee hours of the morning
Memories,
to
stories.
write this. And it's called A Sleigh Ride in Lake Tahoe, Memoirs of Sam Borges. And we would have discussions and talk about the stories. And then I would wake up at about 4 in the morning and work on the book until 7 when I had to go to work. And we were all, and it was a group effort. My husband was very much involved. Rosie was, and some of the other family members. We were able to get the book written, edited, published, and printed in 10 months, which I think is remarkable.
It is.
And we were able to get it into his hands about a month before he passed away.
What a
Well,
blessing.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
We're going to take a short break, and we come back. We're going to learn more about Dianna. Thank you.
We're back.
That I am encouraged, strengthened by many things. One in particular is a poem I like very much. It was written by a blind woman of my time. Her name, Marie De Borges. And this poem has done much to encourage me. It says, but even the saddest day has some gleam of light. A dark wave has bright foam beneath it, and twinkling over even the cloudiest sky is some solitary star to cheer it. So then, who are we? We should be up and doing, with a heart for whatever fate. Still achieving, still pursuing. Learn to labor and to wait. Beautiful, yes? My fate would be in line with my grandfather's wishes, for he felt the way to peace and our people's survival was to learn white man's ways. So he sent me into California to learn to read and write English. First I did so with the good sisters of St. Clair in San Jose. And I learned to read and write English there. And while I was in California, I also stayed with many Mexican families, friends my grandfather had made during the Mexican-American Wars. So, yo hablo un poco español también. No muy bien, but un poquito. I speak a little Spanish as well. Because of my knowledge of languages and dialects, my familiarity with this land and many traditions, I was hired by the U.S. Army as an interpreter, mediator, and a scout and guide. I also opened schools in the area because I felt it was very important that we teach our children not just white man's words by rote, but that we explain the ideas and the meanings behind these words so that they truly understood what it was they were learning.
Hi, we're back with Dianna, and that was a very special break we showed you as Sarah. It's pretty awesome.
Very.
But anyways, tell us more about the Sleigh Ride book before we get into Sarah Winnemucca.
Well, I think the book is an interesting story. Sam led a very interesting life when he was. It starts off the book. He comes to work, and as he goes through his typical day at the sleigh rides, he reminisces not only on how he started the sleigh rides in 1967, but also how his life started. And as I mentioned, and you read my book, I understand.
It's very sweet.
He was his mother was cured of blindness by the power of prayer. And she was so compelled by this, as anyone would be, that she sold everything. And this was in the early 20s. Sold everything and bought a Model A, packed it up with Bibles and books, and scooped up her brand new infant daughter and her then 5-year-old Sam Borges, and traveled across the country preaching about the power of prayer and the Bible. And she did this all over the 50 states. And when Sam was about 13, they were in California in the San Joaquin Valley. And Sam said to his mother, "You know, this is your dream, not mine. I really want to be a rancher." And she put up a sign, "Boy for rent." And he got a job at 13 on a ranch, learning horses and cows and all the stuff in between. And that's how he got his start with the Belgian draft horses. He came to Tahoe. He entered his son, David Borges, then his youngest, because Dwight wasn't, I think he was maybe baking in the oven. But the youngest son, David Borges, entered his name in a raffle. They won a pony, and that pony is what started the sleigh rides.
All right.
Yeah, so it's a great story,
That is sweet.
and it was a remarkable thing to learn as a person coming in. The reason in my name, De Borges, it kind of denotes that I am not born of Borges, but I married into the family. It's an old Hispanic tradition. And I have never been so honored to be a member of a family as I think I have been since I became a part of this family. They have just opened so many doors, doing sleigh rides and carriages every day. I perfected my ability to speak in public, and that made the theater group so much more fun because I learned a whole lot of stage things to add to it. But it was important for me because I learned the art of storytelling from Sam. I learned how to address and greet public, and I think that all of these skills that I've learned has helped me in creating this Chautauqua that I'm so very proud of.
That's what we want to talk about.
Give us a quick review what Chautauqua is.
Sarah Winnemucca.
Yeah, the Chautauqua is Sarah Winnemucca. Well, a Chautauqua, the word Chautauqua comes from a university on Lake Chautauqua that's in Upper New York State. And this university started an arts program, and what they wanted to do was make history more entertaining. And so they started doing reenactments and portraying historical people in the first person. So this person who is portraying, say, Sarah Winnemucca, or Mark Twain is very popular, Benjamin Franklin, Abraham Lincoln, and they would get up and they would portray the person as if they were that person in that time period. And they are to stay in character until they're introduced as the historian, and then there's usually an answer and question period. Well, these became really popular in the 20s, and they were big tents, and it was almost like a traveling vaudeville type of a show. And they would travel all over the United States. In fact, some of our founding fathers here of Carson Valley, I've learned, came over in some of those tent shows, decided to stay, and started a whole lot of stuff here.
That's a fun
I
way to
hadn't
learn,
heard that. That's
you know?
fantastic.
Yeah, so I was actually on a carriage ride when, and unbeknownst to me, I had a school teacher with me, and I gave my usual historical performance, and I had learned over the years to kind of incorporate some of these ideas that are in a Chautauqua as my tours, because if you gave a good tour, and I love history as the family does, if you could present history in an entertaining way, it does multiple things. It entertains people, it teaches people, and if I'm really good, I'll make a good tip. And so
Tips are good.
good
Very
tips,
important.
that was like the focus of life sometimes. But I had a school teacher, and she told me that she taught 4th grade, which is Nevada history here in Nevada, and that she thinks I would be really good doing a Chautauqua. And I said, Chautauqua, what? What is that? And she explained it a little bit to me, and then she says, and you know, you have a bit of a resemblance to Sarah Winnemucca. And I said, who? I'd never heard of her before. And once I investigated this woman, I was...
You said, how could I have never heard of her before?
Exactly. I was awe-inspired by this remarkable, courageous, endearing, proud individual, beautiful, that did so much for the country. And so I brought a small book. This particular book I got at the library, so it kind of covers up the title of it. But this is one of the popular 4th, 5th, and 6th grade books about the life of Sarah Winnemucca. And in my goal to bring Sarah into schools, I am trying to help to bring this book with me.
Well, yesterday, didn't you have a kind of an exciting Sarah Day?
Oh, it was a total Sarah Day yesterday. I want to wish everybody a happy Nevada's Day, and that's exactly where I was yesterday. Happy Nevada Day. It was Nevada Day at Scarcelli, and I did about 5 performances there. For the 4th graders, they do this really fun Nevada Day celebration. And then afterwards, I drove to Reno, and I was a part of the Nevada Day celebrations. And I performed at the governor's banquet, and I'm still on cloud 9 today. I feel really good about the performance, and I was well received, and I think it was a wonderful opportunity to get Sarah out there to important people.
You think her spirit, comes through you and comes out to everybody? I bet it does.
I have often been asked why I do Sarah, why I pick Sarah, and I can tell you wholeheartedly, I never in my wildest dreams imagined I would get this far. And I really feel that Sarah has picked me and kind of leads me along on getting her story out there. I think the message that I try to give in my performance is one of courage and hope. We're in such difficult times right now. And I think that people are looking for that positive role model. And Sarah most definitely is that.
Think so.
Yeah, she, in her own words, she said, "What can one poor little Indian woman do?" And My answer is a lot. I mean, she was a guide, an interpreter, a mediator, a human rights activist. She did what she could to improve conditions, and she did change a lot on the reservations. She wrote a book, she lectured, she opened schools. My goodness.
Yeah, and this wasn't yesterday.
No, 1880s.
Back in the day.
Yeah, where women couldn't even vote or own property, and she accomplished so much. And so I think too that her other message is of love. Love is a powerful force. I've always believed that. Love of home, love of family, love of the people that you belong to. All these
love
things.
Of the earth.
Yes, and all these things. Even though it's a simple concept, it really does go a long way. In our family, we have a motto: strive to be happy. And I'll tell you, sometimes being happy isn't always easy. But it makes a world of a difference when life is difficult as it is now and times are so hard. If just being happy is all you can accomplish, it's really a lot.
It is.
Happy's a good goal.
I think so, and it does help people to survive these difficult times. So I'm very proud of the message I tried to portray with my performance of Sarah.
Well, I was lucky enough to tape you at your home doing Sarah for 20 minutes, and that was a special day. But also, you've told me that Sarah was from Genoa, and she was left off the list of being the top 150 influential in Douglas County. So we were talking about that. We were also talking about how she came to you in a dream, and you did a poem in your performance about that.
Yeah.
And we'll be hearing that as well. And we're down to about a minute and a half. Is there any way we could get your contacts out there so people can track you down to do your performance?
Oh, yes. Well, of course, I can be found on the sleighrides.com. And if you put my name, Dianna, Dianna, in front of Sleigh Rides, at sleighrides.com, it comes to me. All of our numbers are in the books for the Borges family sleigh and carriage rides. But the best way to contact me, other than my email, is at the business number, which is 775-588-2953.
Now we're now down to our last minute. Is there anything else you want to talk to about Sarah? Because you did such a special job. What's your future hold out for her?
Well, I'm really working hard to get Sarah in the schools, and I'm working hard with many government officials to try to find the funding to get Sarah in all the elementary schools, at least in these immediate area, but I'd love to get her in Nevada. And if it's possible, I would love to take Sarah back to Washington.
Well, also, what's the name of her book? And
Sarah's book is Life Among the Paiutes, Their Wrongs and Their Claims. But if you Google Sarah Winnemucca, you will find so much information. There's numerous biographies and then her biographies. And as I said, there's even children's books out now that make it easy to get to know a lot about Sarah.
well, thank you for being on Nevada Trails.
Thank you for having me.
You're an inspiration.
Oh,
Just like Sarah.
I'm honored. Thank you.
Michael and Cindi for Nevada Trails. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. See you next time.